So the question that seems to be fresh on everyone's mind currently is Hu Tao really worth it? Now, while I could easily show you a clip like this, or even one like this, and just call it a day, while I do think that that would satisfy some people, I want to go a little more in depth into why you should or should not summon Hu Tao based on what you currently have on your account. Just about everyone, new and old, knows that Hu Tao is one of the single best damage dealers in the game. However, she is a bit trickier to use than most main damage dealers. While she can output an insane amount of damage within a very short period of time, she is also a very technical character with a lot of caveats that come with her. So instead of following my own bias of how much I love Hu Tao as a character, we're going to break things down step by step so that you can make a decision for yourself. If you end up finding this video helpful at all, please feel free to leave me a like and comment down below. It really does help me push into the YouTube algorithm and I greatly appreciate it. And if you want to see more Genshin Impact content from me, feel free to hit that notification bell and subscribe. On a quick note, I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for 10,000 subscribers. I really do appreciate it. I can't believe that we hit this number, and I can't wait for us to grow this channel even more together. But with all that out of the way, let's jump into why you should or should not summon for Hu Tao. First and foremost, remember that this is a PvE game, so you should definitely be summoning for who you personally want. While sometimes it is important to consider the meta just in case you are worried about more difficult content, ultimately, I personally believe in summoning for your favorite characters because just about any character in Genshin Impact can be good with enough investment. Although that being said, Hu Tao is such a good character that even at low investment, she is sure to bring a lot of benefits to your overall account if you end up liking her gameplay. But for those that are interested in the meta, let's go over a few things first. Alright, so the very first thing that I want you to consider and want you to do is take a look at your account right now. I want you to quickly take a look at your roster and see just how many Pyro characters that you have on your account. Do you already have characters like Diluc, Klee, or Yoimiya? Or do you have a high constellation Yanfei? If the answer is yes to any of these, how many of them do you have? If you only currently have one major Pyro DPS, then I think you should go ahead and summon for Hu Tao. However, if the answer is 2 or more, then you might actually not need Hu Tao on your account. That being said, Hu Tao is the single best Pyro damage dealer in the game as of 2.2, but the simple fact of the matter is that all of these other Pyro DPS members that I mentioned are still currently more than able to beat all content in the game and even 36-star Abyss. So the real question is, if you do have more than 2 main Pyro DPSs, are you willing to potentially lose out on characters like Ganyu, Eula, Xiao, Raiden, Zhongli, Venti, or Kazuha, who are all considered to be top meta picks? Obviously, this only really matters if you are worried about the meta or if you're worried about your teams being balanced, but I do think that it is still really important to consider if you're still on the fence. The very next thing that I want you to consider is Hu Tao's gameplay. This is actually something that I want everyone to consider, considering that Hu Tao's gameplay might actually not be for everyone. If you didn't already know, the main reason why Hu Tao is so powerful is because she sacrifices her HP for an absolutely massive power boost. This means in order to be able to use her optimally, you're going to have to get extremely comfortable with playing at low HP. Now, while this isn't typically a big issue for more skilled players, if you are a casual player, then this might be something that you need to consider. Because if you do play cautiously and play with her above her 50% HP threshold, then you're going to be losing out on a lot of damage. While on the flip side, if you are playing at very low HP, then you suffer the risk of losing altogether. Luckily, unlike Xiao, she is actually able to restore her own HP with her burst, and of course you can always pair her up with a shielding unit in order to negate incoming damage, but this does mean that you are going to want to heavily invest into your support units in order to make sure you can keep her alive without overhealing her. Another thing to consider while using Hu Tao is the fact that she is extremely stamina hungry. Besides the massive hit on her burst, she actually gets the majority of her damage from her charged attacks. This means if you do not have Hu Tao at C1, then you're going to have to learn how to animation cancel or jump cancel if you want to try to squeeze out as much damage as possible. And again, while this may not be a huge problem for some players, for others it may be a huge issue considering that you may not be good at animation canceling and therefore won't get as much out of Hu Tao as you could with another character. C1 does almost completely get rid of this issue, however, if you aren't willing to spend the primos or just don't have them, then this might cause a problem. I'm in no way saying that you need C1 in order for Hu Tao to be a good unit, but it is something that most players might actually want to go for if they're trying to be a dedicated Hu Tao main. The main reason why I'm bringing all this up is because even though a character may be technically strong, if you can't actually utilize them or don't enjoy playing them, then you're actually going to net more damage using another character simply because you are more comfortable with that gameplay. I personally really enjoy Hu Tao's gameplay. I think that it's really fun, very snappy, and challenging, and I find that really enjoyable. But I know that some players might not actually enjoy her gameplay, so I just wanted to make sure that we're all on the same page and so that you can make a decision for yourself. Okay, but what about weapons? Do you actually need a 5-star weapon such as the Staff of Homa in order for Hu Tao to be a good carry? The simplest answer is no. Hu Tao is actually more than strong enough on her own and can utilize other 5-star weapons or 4-star weapons and still be extremely good. I know that a lot of people constantly ask this question and are wondering whether they have to summon for the Staff of Homa, and while it absolutely is her best in slot, nothing comes close to it. That in no way means that other weapons aren't good on her or can't get you through endgame content. I actually did make an entire video just on her 4-star weapons. If you are interested, I'll link that up above and down below if you need some help picking out a 4-star option. But I wanted to make it known that she does not need a 5-star weapon in order to be a good unit. So all in all, where does that leave us? Personally, I do still think that Hu Tao is one of the best characters in the entire game, and I think that if you do want her, you should go ahead and summon for her. If you take a look at almost any tier list regarding Genshin Impact, you're always going to see Hu Tao right at the top, right next to Ganyu. And if I'm being completely honest, I think that she has completely deserved that rank. Not only is she capable of dealing a lot of damage by using both Vaporize and Melt, Hu Tao is actually also an excellent team player, considering that she's able to transfer part of her crit to her teammates after her burst. This means that she's actually very suitable for a quick swap gameplay style, and that's becoming more and more relevant as we progress into the game. However, it is still very important to realize that Hu Tao is extremely dependent on her other teammates in order to keep her alive, and while the high risk, high reward gameplay may thrill some, it may not be for everyone. At the end of the day, just keep in mind that this is a PvE game like I mentioned before, and you should just go for who makes you happiest. And if that means that our resident ghost-wielding funeral parlor director is your favorite, you should go ahead and get her. But I do hope that by going over Hu Tao step by step, this was able to give you a better understanding of Hu Tao and whether or not she's going to be a good character for you specifically. If you did end up finding the video helpful, please feel free to leave me a like and comment down below. Let me know if you're going for Hu Tao or not, or if you're even going for the Staff of Homa. And if you want to see more Genshin Impact content from me, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. If enough people are interested, I'm probably going to end up making some Hu Tao videos as we get closer to 2.2, so make sure you keep a lookout for that. Alright guys, that's all for now. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and until next time, best wishes. Bye!